So while we're waiting for our amazing guest, who wants to share something exciting with me? Sammy, tell us where you've been, why you haven't been on our call. We've missed you.
All right, I was in Puerto Vallarta. Um, part take care of some personal business and some to speak with other agents in the luxury space. And I was able to connect in person with about four. There's lots of boutique, I didn't make appointments ahead of time, so that's
Okay.
good. And most of the offices are, you know, right there in the right locations for the very exclusive area called Punta de Mita, and
Mm-hmm.
they look really big when you look on their website, but there's like 7 agents, you know. But
Yep.
one of them was part of Forbes affiliation, and I thought that was interesting that such a small office would have that kind of pull. So they said the business was really slow this quarter, which is good for recruiting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but last year was great. They didn't stop. So it's interesting because we had the flip, right? Last year we weren't
Right.
doing great. But actually, turned out I asked one of my favorite bartenders I've known for as a friend for 30 years. I said, "Do you know anybody in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta?" His cousin works there, and we had a couple of meetings. So that was cool.
Wow. That's really exciting when you can do that, when you can ask someone that you know. And how simple is
Yep.
that to just
Yep.
say, hey, who do you know? I ask bartenders, waitresses,
Oh,
anybody all the time. Um, Flight attendants, I'll ask. It's, you just got to be there and it shows up. And it's one thing to ask, but we definitely have to follow up on it, right?
yep.
How many times have we asked for something and we haven't followed up on it? So I know nobody here on that call ever, ever, ever does that. Who else? Is anybody here for the first time? Y'all have been here before?
Where's the young man from Monday? Is it
Um,
Maybe I've
Michael?
got something.
Michael?
hey, Grayson and Michael, yeah, I'll get you in a second. Hey, what's up, Bennett?
So a friend of mine on my first line is lives in uh, South Padre Island, and
Okay.
he's got a lot of relationships in Argentina. And so Felix is meeting with this guy who's been in the real estate business in Argentina for uh, 35 years, and they're going to discuss opening Argentina to EXP.
How
So
cool
that's
is that?
pretty cool. Yeah,
And that just started with a phone call.
yeah, it did.
That's amazing.
So before we jump in, I just, I always, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but I always do a meditation intention before I get on this. And we're coming up on 3 years and we've shared so much. And being a former team leader and opening up offices for KW all over the country, this is something that is not just to us. Um, we're talking about getting a new way to do co-sponsorship and to change lives. And this jumped out at me this morning. We all know, but do we really feel worthy of this gift? What's holding us back? Because it's there for every single one of us just to have a conversation, even if it's with a waitress or a bartender or your gardener or whoever it is. So when we go into this great Zoom today with Russ, who's our VP of Growth in the West, when we go into this Zoom, I'm asking you all to keep an open mind, to really just take a deep breath before you get on this call and to be able to say, damn, I'm worthy. I am worthy to do this. And obviously, the leadership in our company, they believe that you're worthy. Because if Glenn Sanford and Russ and Leo and everybody else who has walked in these shoes of leadership over the 10 years that we've got going, including Jean Frederick, who we have all been brought together because of them. If they did not believe you were worthy, you wouldn't be here. So just wanted to put that out, that my intention for everybody today on this call is that you know you're worthy, and that's why you're here. And if there's anybody who doesn't believe they're worthy, then get on the phone with me, send me a text. Let's change that mindset. Right, Russ?
You got it.
So,
Absolutely.
I am so super stoked to have our VP of growth with us. Not only is he one of the best dressed men I know, he's got an incredible sense of humor, but he is taking this company to a new level, and he has taken on this, making it easy. I almost want to say it's 2.0 for dummies, but not sure if I can get sued for using that with a book. But Russ, you also just got back from Montreal. So if you don't know who he is, you're going to get to know him. If this is the first time that you've been on this call, thank you, thank you, thank you. One selfish plug is that we have a retreat coming up May 5th through the 9th. It is held at Jean and Susan's Lake House. There are a few people on the call who are going. Guys, we have 2 spots left. 2, that's all. I guarantee you this is life-changing. Take my phone number down, 860-638-7944. If you would like to know more about it, I'll be happy to get you there, and you belong there. That's all I'm going to say. 2 slots, and we're waiting for you. So with that, Russ, take it away. You just came off of Montreal, man. It's 6 a.m. in California.
Yeah.
I'm rocking and rolling. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm always, anytime people invite me to come do anything, I'm always like, really? You want me to come? Like, I'm always excited. I'm just excited to get asked, right? So it's good. So thank you very much. I'm always flattered that somebody wants me to talk to them about anything. So
thank you.
So I appreciate that. A couple of things I need to point out right out of the gate. Okay. Number 1, I don't know what Pam Dempsey's been drinking, but she looks happy.
Doesn't she look amazing?
She looks amazing. Like, she's got the light, the bright, big smile on her face. She looks like she's happy to be here. She must be East Coast.
I'm happy to be alive.
There you go. Good. Good. And then I cannot let this go, and it will drive me nuts the whole time. So I'm just going to get it out of the way. That is so freaking unfair that you have a guy named Tom Bacon. Come on. That is the best ever name for like real estate marketing, but everybody loves bacon. Well, maybe not vegans, but we don't like vegans anyway. So kidding. I'm kidding. Guys, I always like to start a little spicy and have some fun with it. Did you guys see where this is going today?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Great to see Samia again, as always. Always great to see your smiling face. So with that said, Peggy, where do you want me to go today? What would best serve your group here today?
Well, you know what? I think that there are so many things going on in this company. I'd love you to just talk a little bit about, you just came off of EXPCon in Montreal.
Yep.
The excitement, how we can plug in and just be you. And then we can have questions. But the main thing is that they announced that we've got a new way to help each other, lift each other up, to support our growth and to create wealth. So give us some highlights from Montreal, kick us off with a new co-sponsorship, and it's all yours.
Okay, good. Well, you guys feel free to jump in as we go through this. I don't want this to come across like a lecture. So let's have some fun back and forth if we need to. Throw your hand up or just speak up if you need to. I want to make sure that go for it.
And the bow tie.
I never wear a bow. You know what? People ask me that all the time. I never, ever, ever have worn a bow tie. I have a bunch of other ties, but just my neck is really messed up today. So I've got a headache up the back of my head. That's like, feels like it's got Bennett's giant hand on the back of my head squeezing.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I had to ask. That's how I met you, and that's how I associate you.
Yeah, it's all good. So if you see me move my head around a little bit funny today, this is all good. I got a knot right here that's driving me crazy. So hence no necktie today. And by the way, sometimes when you go into these conversations and you want to get spicy with it, you don't want to have something around your neck they can grab onto and choke you with. So, it's just safer sometimes, right? That's why cops wear clip-on ties. You can pull that thing off and you're like, what am I going to do with that now? Slap them with it? All right. So let's go to Montreal. Guys, if you want to have a really wonderful experience, stay at a hotel, 3 hotel, about 2 blocks away from the host hotel. I stay at the Marriott a couple of blocks away from the host hotel. And then the opening party, they had country night, is boots style, whatever, themed. Had a country band playing, and they encouraged people to dress up country. So I, of course, being the super shy, super conservative person, decides to throw on a pair of cowboy boots. Got my jeans on maybe a little tighter than they needed to be, because that's the way it is. I got a big ass belt buckle this big around with an American eagle in front of a flag. Nothing screams America more than that. And of course, I had a leather vest on, a shirt, tie, and a cowboy hat. And I'm walking from my hotel to the host hotel, and you guys see the looks on people's faces. Like, they're like, what the holy heck are you doing? And particularly last week, after all the other shenanigans, like, nothing screams like I'm an American and there's something wrong with me more than walking around like that. So it was one of those days you're like, it made me giggle so hard. It just made me, it made my heart smile. So, but Montreal, it was actually interesting. If you guys ever want to snuggle up to EXP leadership, go to EXPCon Canada. And here's the reason why. There's only 700 people. 700 people back up. 700 people. There's 7,200 and something in Canada. 10% of the country was there. So it was a big number as a percentage wise. I mean, if we did EXPCon in the US, we'd have, 7,600, 8,000 people show up if we had 10%. So with that being said, that was a really great cross section of Canada that showed up, which is great. Canada growth is actually really strong. They've been jumping in a couple of their provinces there really, really strongly. Quebec is one of them, which is really kind of cool. But you've got 15 of the top executives in the company rolling around through there. So you got 15 on 700 versus 15 on 5,000, right? So yeah, we actually had the opportunity to talk to people and not get interrupted 17 times while you're trying to have a 3-minute conversation. And it was really nice to be able to pour into people and be able to sit down in a chair and have a conversation and not be swamped. It was a ton of fun to be able to engage with people on a level that we don't normally get to engage with, because we're typically surrounded by so many people as we're moving through. But with that being said, there's a lot of excitement in Canada for what EXP is doing in Canada. And man, there's a runway in Canada still. There's a lot of room for growth and expansion in Canada. So if you guys ever bump into any Canadian friends, there's a lot of opportunity in that country, and there's a lot of ability to collaborate with that people in that country. So is anybody here in Arizona? Yeah, Scottsdale. There you go. Ann Collins. There you go. Know any Canadians? Yeah, they're all hiding down there. They're hiding down there in the wintertime, right? So with that, guys, I think it's funny because when we talk about how do you grow something, I like to apply what we call the law of the more. The more people I know, the more people I know. The more people I know, the more people I can get. The more people I can get, the more people I can get. And it starts to turn into this snowball thing. Back in some of the earlier days, trying to save, one of my previous roles was saving real estate brokerages. I inherited 28 offices across the lower half of the country with a company called Carrington. And I went into those offices and it was like, okay, guys, we got to do whatever it takes to get to 50. Like, we'll do whatever it takes to get to 50. And once we get to 50, we're going to do one in, one out until we get the right quality team. And then when we get to the right quality team, then we move up to 70, then we move up to 90, then we move up to 100 plus, right? So you have a strategy and a plan. And right now, like, it's just sheer mass of contact and connection for most people. When they're saying, Russ, I'm having trouble with it, I'm like, okay, great. How many people do you know? And they don't know. Like, basic metric 101 for any of this part of the business, if you're doing the trading time for money, houses equals cash recipe, or if you're doing the people equals cash recipe, both of these have a sphere of influence, right? They both have a sphere of influence. So a lot of the things we're talking about in Canada is like, just get in front of more people, right?
Mhm.
And here's the rub. There's people out there getting in front of more people, but they're getting in front of more people and hacking off more people. So don't go out and get in front of more people and do the things that irritate people. Don't do things to people that irritate you. Hey guys, how many of you like being cold called? You love it when somebody cold calls you for what? Like Matthew McClure, you like it? Okay. What I'd like you to do is put your phone number in chat, and everybody today at some point randomly give Matthew a call. You good with that?
He's going to do it.
Okay. So I'm going to hit you later, and I'm going to sell you. By the way, I'm going to sell you a car warranty on a car you don't even own. You're going to buy it because I'm good. Okay. So for the majority of people, they don't like being cold called. So like, I don't like being cold called. So like, I don't want to build my business around doing that. So I think there's some movement now and some people starting to talk and to tell this story the way I've been telling the story for a while. It's like, guys, call people, but add value first and then call them, right? You send them something interesting and then call them. You've got, there's graphics posted on social all the time. Grab social. I love that, Matthew. I'm going to get you so good. I'm going to put your, did you know there's a website where you can put somebody's phone number in there and get them on a list to get cold called by every company in the country? Did you know that? Matthew's like, I'm going to do some conversion. I got my phone ringing.
Friends.
Yeah. So when we're doing this process, there are a ton of things out there that you can find that you can use. And a couple of people on stage were talking about like, find some of this stuff that's already built and then just send that to everybody you know. And then you can follow up and say, hey, did you get the thing that I sent? And by the way, that's Cheplack, John Cheplack. I saw him talking with our leadership group, and he's like, just send them something, and then say, hey, did you get the thing about the thing? And I was like, dude, that's what I've been teaching for like 15 years, and it works. So it's really good. Yeah, phone doxing. So it's really good when you do things that work. So a lot of conversation about AI. How many of you guys have fiddled with AI? Okay. I kind of toyed around the edge of it a little bit. And I kind of like, I don't really care. Like if I could go the whole day and not open my computer, I'd be the happiest camper in the world. You give me a wood shop, you give me a forge, give me a piece of metal and a hammer. I will heat it up. I will beat it into something sharp and pointy and have a great time doing it. But I really don't like using my computer. If I could take my computer in the forge and heat it up and then take it back out and smack it with a hammer a bunch, that's what I feel like doing most of the times when I'm on my computer. Okay. So with that being said, if you haven't really gotten into AI at all, you really should just start and play around the edges of it. Take a simple class on it. A lot of conversation about AI. Glenn Sanford shamed me accidentally. He probably doesn't even realize that I felt ashamed when he said it. He asked me if I had the company ChatGPT on my cell phone. And I said, no, actually on my cell phone, I've got my regular ChatGPT personal with my personal login, and I'd use the company ChatGPT on my computer. And he's like, you should have the company one on your phone because it's much more robust and it's like the best of the best. It's the best of the best, right? They got every bell and whistle built into that thing. It's the pro level version of ChatGPT. And I was like, he's like, well, I was going to show you something, but like I can't show you on your phone if you don't have it there. And I left there and I was like, how the heck do I get the company ChatGPT on my phone? Guys, it was literally a question. 3 a.m. in the morning. I was like, wait a minute, if I try to log into ChatGPT on my phone with my company credentials, it would probably log in to the company version of ChatGPT, and son of a bitch, it did. And I felt like an idiot. Okay. So guys, there are these moments in business when we're trying to do this moving in business, and you may think and see that you think the leaders are all perfect or some version of perfect or more perfecter, right? When in fact, you can be and get to wherever you want to go, regardless of where you're at in your skill set. Be enthusiastic, be passionate, be curious, be kind, love other people, and you can go a million miles in this business. And I think what we get stuck on is trying to do the things and play the game instead of just genuinely going out and loving people. Guys, I think I'm in this job because I just love people. Right? Have you guys ever heard anybody say, most realtors suck? Have you ever heard people say that? Or like every realtor I deal with is an idiot. This industry is chock full of idiots, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard anybody say buyers are liars and sellers are worse? Yeah. And we all laugh about it. We're like, right? But keep in mind, guys, like the things that we have going through our head and the things that we're thinking translate into the things that we're doing, right? So if I think buyers are liars and then I get a buyer and I approach them as if they're a liar, even subconsciously, does it change the way I behave? Yeah, right. So what I want you to do is I want you to start a soundtrack in your head that I can make this, I can be this, I can do this, I can do anything that I put my mind to, right? So for me, I made this shift in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna learn this stupid chat GPT thing. So I went completely off the deep end, following somebody's instructions, and they're like, upload stuff of you. So any of you guys shoot any videos of yourself ever? Did you know you can load your videos? You just take the URL for your video, load it into ChatGPT, and you could plug a bunch of those things in there. And then you could say, what would Stacy say to this, right? So craft me a message that's good for social media, that should get good attention, should be catchy, and catch attention, gather attention, and put it in my voice. And a stupid thing will give you a post that's your voice. So a lot of people were struggling with doing simple things in business, and you taking time, energy, and effort. It's like, what do I put out there? It's like, give me 5 social media posts that would be pertinent to today, today's market, what's going on in today's market. And it'll give you 5 posts. And then it'll say, can I make a graphic for you? If you've got the pro version, say, would you like me to make a graphic for you? It'll make you a graphic for the thing for social media posts. And I'm going like, I've been doing it the freaking hard way the whole time, right? So there are a lot of little things that you can do. So I did the first thing that I thought, Peggy, you're going to love this, right? I did the first thing that I thought pops into my head. I say, I'm going to upload my book. I'm going to upload my book to ChatGPT. And I will tell you what, I'm like, how the heck do you do that? I just literally took the file that my guy gave me, and I took the file and I just just pasted it right in the thing. And it said, would you like me to produce a summary of your book? Sure. Could I interest you in creating a workbook and an 8-week training program based off the content of your book? And my mind went, didn't even think of that. Guys, the book isn't even out yet, right? Here's how far away from it being done it is, right? It's right here, right? So, see, it says not for resale. Okay. By the way, does this look like totally me?
Oh God, yeah.
It looks like a whiteboard, right? So I wrote this book. It'll be out in the next 3 weeks or so. It's called Be Followable. A lot of people talk about leadership, talking about how to be the best you so that people want to follow you, right? So by the way, this Be Followable works for selling houses and it works for attracting agents, right? So in Montreal, there's all this talk about AI. And I'm like, I grabbed one little stupid nugget and they're like, just upload everything you've done. Just drop a couple in every day. Drop a couple of your videos in there every day. And then what'll happen is you can ask it, it's like, what would Russ say in response to this? And it'll craft your answer and you'll be like, holy crap, that sounds like me. Wildest freaking thing in the world, right? So if you haven't had that experience yet, do it, start it, play with it, right? So one of the things that we're talking about in attraction, and I see this done quite a bit. A lot of people are talking about attraction from a perspective of hey, I'm going to stop doing this house sale thing so I can just go to attraction. How many of you guys have plenty of money? You're good on the money department? Okay, so 1. Okay, good. So so for you, this may not be as applicable, right? So you could possibly do this reading. You could probably just go straight into focus on attraction, not worry about it, right? But for most of the people in this company and most of the people in this country, you really, as a real estate agent, you got to keep selling houses, right? You really got to keep selling houses. Like, I don't want you to stop selling houses to go to this, because this is what? These are $10,000 checks typically, plus or minus. And these are $350 checks. And now, don't get me wrong, I love attraction. And don't get me wrong, you can add up a lot of 350s over time. That will add up to way more than this over time. And that's part of the game. But what we've been having and seeing people do is they're encouraging people to focus on this and distract from this. And the problem is, guys, like Grady, if I told you to take 20% of your time and distract it from your house sales, what's going to happen to your house sales, do you think? Is it going to go down by 20% probably? Yeah. So are you willing to take a 20% loss this year on your real estate business? Yeah, no, right? So guys, we've got this proportion incorrect and we've got the thought process incorrect. And if we get this in the correct alignment, and I did this with 50 people in Montreal, Peggy, and 50 people are like, oh my God, that's what I needed in my life. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did with people. It was like, well, Russ, I'm struggling with this. And I'm like, why? They're like, I just feel like I can't distract my business because my business is already down from 2 years ago. It's already a challenge in this business anyway. And last thing I want to do is distract from my business. So if you take 20% off of here and put it over here, your 20 sales now goes to 16.
Mm.
It goes down 40, but this didn't go up 40. If this went up to 45 and you went down 40, I'm net 5 ahead. I'm good, right? But what they said is like, I've been working on this for the last year, and not only did I make less money here, but this didn't cover it. Because this takes time, guys. Building a REVShare organization is like growing bamboo. You know how you grow bamboo? This is how it works, okay? The first year you plant it, right? And you water it and you water it and you water it and you water it, and it does nothing, right? So the first year it sleeps. The second year it creeps. The third year it leaps. And the fourth year your neighbors are bitching at you because your bamboo's in their yard too. Okay? So that's how REVShare works, right? So people are working on it. It feels like it's not going anywhere. And the second year you're like, it's moving a little bit, but it's not moving enough to make it worth the loss over here. So what I want you guys to start thinking is your best opportunity in growth is I want you to stay 100% focused on house sales. You guys are like, oh, but Russ, you're the growth guy. Why would you say that?
Don't anybody disconnect, I promise. He's going to talk about growing.
So here's the thing, right? Instead of looking at it as separate businesses, what I want you to do is I want you to look at it as a secondary bucket of income, okay? I want you to look at it in business terms. We'll call this a vertical integration, right? Let me describe to you guys another vertical integration. Hey, Matthew, have you ever been to a French fry joint? Nobody's really ever heard of a French fry joint. They've seen food trucks that have French fries, right? There's not really a French fry joint, is there? No, there's hamburger joints, right? And you go to a hamburger joint, boom, this is your hamburger. And when you're there, Matthew, what do they say? They're like, you order a hamburger and they say, would you like fries with that? Darn right I would, right? Heck, I'll come there just to eat the fries. Okay? Like, forget the hamburger. I just want the French fries, right? So in order, when you're selling a hamburger, people are like, would you like fries with that? And then what do they ask you? They ask you, well, would you like a Coke with that? Sure. Okay. This is the way normal stuff works, guys. So here's the deal. There are real estate agents all around the transactions you're doing. And these are people that know you. These are people that have met you. These are people that have done business with you. These are people that have showed your houses. These are people that have been under contract with you. And if you think real estate agents are amazing, and you hang out with real estate agents and talk to them like they're amazing and work with them like they are amazing, some of them will disappoint you, but I want to go in and say, like, I expect to have an amazing transaction with an amazing real estate agent. I'll even tell people that. Like, hey, I'm super excited to work with you. I like working with amazing real estate agents. You and me, it's our job. Once we get under contract, it's our job to get to close. Your sellers want to close. Buyers want to close. I want to close. You want to close. So we're in this together, right? So we'll figure it out. No matter what happens, we're going to figure it out together. Good? And the agents on the other side of the deal are like, oh my God, I love this guy. So in the course of doing real estate sales, you have these real estate agents that are rolling around. And all I'm going to do is say, add value to every single one of them. Week after week after week after week. After you do anything with any of these people, you're going to start building a list of agents. And you build a list of agents that have touched anything in your properties, right? If they showed one of your properties, they go on your list. So when I send out this value thing, by the way, I got this little screenshot from social just the other day. Hang on a second here. most affordable large cities in the U.S. Love that, right? Employment percentage change of pre-COVID February 2025. Like, what states have had better employment and less employment? And people are like, oh, that's a good one. Hey guys, I've got an interesting one. U.S. housing prices 1950 to 2024, percentage up or down. How? Look at this thing. All those greens and 7 reds. So from 1950 to 2024, 74 years later, 7 of the 74 years were down markets. Not massively down, like 0.7, 0.2 or 2 of them. So minimally, right? The rest of them are up. Is that an interesting piece of information? So people say, like, I don't know if I should buy a house. I don't know if I should be buying a house right now. Well, I don't know. There's a 67 out of 74 year chance that you're going to have an up year this year. It's like 90% chance that you're going to have up every year.
Russ,
So you get 30 years.
Where did you get that? What was
None of your business.
Come on, don't be
I'm gonna
like
tell you all my secrets. Come on, guys. Like, come on. Guys, people posting this stuff on Facebook all the time. All the time. So there's a couple of different companies that do this.
Are you going to answer, Russ?
No, it is a I got this off Facebook. So yeah, I already answered you. I literally got it off Facebook. Okay. So there are a couple different people that post things like this fairly regularly. Have you guys belong to Lab Coat Agents? Lab Coat Agents group, that is Tristan Almada. He's started Lab Coat Agents a bunch of years ago. There's like 40 or 50,000 agents in that thing. And he posts stuff like this all the time. Great resource. And you can just grab that stuff, screenshot it, and repost it. I save them in my phone. I got a whole file full of these things in my phone. So whenever I see anything, I save it. And the reason I save it is because every once in a while I'm talking to somebody. It's like, hey, by the way, I got this thing. You want to see? Guys, you want me to show you how to attract real estate agents? I just did. All of you guys are like, where'd you get that from? Like, I want that in my life. Yeah. If you have something people want, they'll want it. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff that I have. And I send that to every freaking real estate agent I've ever met. That's the plan. It's that simple. And then I could pick up the phone and be like, hey, Don Hobbs, this is Russ Lagan. Hey, did you get that thing I sent the other day with the house thing? Did you get that? Dude, is that crazy? I had no idea. I would have bet it was 70-30, right? Overall 70-30. I didn't know. 90% of the time it's up. 9 out of 10 years it's up. That's freaking amazing. So do you think a buyer should buy a house? Yeah. The only thing they should have done is bought it 20 years ago, right? Okay. So with that being said, little things like that we can start incorporating in their life. So guys, start thinking of attraction as vertical integration, right? It's a byproduct of your business. In a normal listing, you're going to have the person you're under contract with, right? And you're going to have, because you guys price houses amazingly, right? You get great priced houses. You get 20 showings on a house. There's 21 real estate agents that touch that house.
Wow. So
now I go to that agent and I say, hey, Don, just want to touch base with you. I know you showed the house at blah, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, we're under contract on that thing. If it happens to come out of contract, I'll let you know. We'll let you guys take first whack at it again if you change your mind. Worst case scenario, I know every time I list a house and get one sold, within the next 3, 4, 5 months, I end up with another listing within eyesight of that. So if I get another listing that's like this one, I'll save the list for you and I'll make sure you get a chance to take a look at that thing, because I know you got a buyer looking in that market, in that style, that price, in that neighborhood. So I'll make sure you guys get a whack at that. Sound good? Perfect. And the agent on the other side of the deal is like, oh my God, I love this guy, right? In a low inventory market, that is gold. Okay, absolute gold. So when we're looking at this system here, people would sit me down in Montreal and say, Russ, like, I'm struggling with it. Like, are you doing it like this? And they're like, well, no. So by the way, I've got a video that I shot with 2 other people that asked that question on how to do attraction through production, which most of you guys should be probably doing it like that. Would you guys like to see that video?
Yes, I'm answering for everybody.
Huh. Interesting. So Peggy, what I'll do is I'll send that video to you.
Okay.
And then you can distribute to your people.
I'll distribute it to some people. Depends if they're nice to me.
I love that. See, now you have the power. This is power and control. Guys, can I teach you something about sales?
Go ahead.
Just did.
Power and control.
If you have something what people want, they'll want it. Just did it twice back to back. Heck, I just told you what I did to you and I just did it again and you guys still fell for it. The reason being is, like, it's not a trick. It's because I have something that's valuable and you want it, right? If you got a guy that's starving sitting on the side of the road and you're like, hey, I got French fries, they're hot and fresh. Wait, he's going to say no? To say yes every single time, right? So you just got to find that thing that tickles people's fancies. And real estate agents, silly little things like these little, like, guys, like, Don, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to send that to you and I want you to throw that on your phone. And the next time you're talking to somebody and they say, hey man, how's the market? It's like, you know what? Dude, I got this thing I just got yesterday from my buddy Russ. And it's talking about housing prices over the last 74 years. Check this out. Over the last 74 years, here's how many years we're down and here's how many years we're up. Is that insane? And the person's like, wow. Like, you want me to send it to you? And they're like, yeah. Right? Cool. By the way, I do a market update every month that tells people what's going on in the market. You want me to send that to you too? And they say, yep. Hey, by the way, guys, I've got a market update that I just did on what's going on in the national market. You guys want to see that too?
Absolutely.
I could do this all day
He
because I
got
got
you
stuff to
again.
I'll tell you what's coming. That's every single time, right? So now you guys aren't going to raise your hand for anything else. However, I do have this little screenshot of every state and how much every state has appreciated in the last 5 years. It's a little graphic. So would you guys like to see that one? You're like, I'm not putting my hand up again, Russ.
Please do.
How about this? This is a funny one. I always like this one. This one's really amazing. Hey, Don, what state are you in now? You're in Texas, yeah?
Texas, right?
55.8% over the last 5 years. Texas has gone up.
Wow.
So what's the next question? Well, what's Oklahoma? 54.6, right? And all the Texas people are like, yeah, Oklahoma sucks, right? By the way, New Mexico beat down 60.3%.
Wow.
You guys want to know what the highest appreciating state in the country was for the last 5 years?
Say Texas.
Can I guess?
Go guess, yeah.
I'm going to shoot for Montana for the sake of argument.
Wow.
I like Florida.
Florida's 80.9.
Arizona.
Maine is 80.8. Arizona 76.4. Do I have your attention?
Yep.
The bluegrass state, Russ, Kentucky.
Kentucky. Well, Kentucky's the birthplace of liquid goodness, 55.1%. Tennessee, 76.1. Number one in the country right now, as of the time this came out, which is maybe 4 or 5 months old. FHFA put this out, 91.3% in 5 years. Idaho.
Idaho.
And that's in how many months?
That's 5 years.
In 5 years.
5 years
More
equity
land.
gain, right? Utah,
Right.
71.5 is Utah. So guys, so here's the thing, guys. Like, I want you to understand how simple sales is. Just have stuff people want and they'll want it. Okay. Attraction is super simple. If I do that, think about it, guys. I just gave you 5 things in 5 minutes that you guys all found interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If you found it interesting, do you think you're a reasonably normal cross-section of the population? I mean, aside from Matthew McClure, he's obviously an anomaly, but aside from Matthew, you guys think you're reasonably normal?
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
Matthew.
Yeah. Okay, so with that being said, guys, this attraction thing becomes a ton easier when I just go, okay, is there something that I just saw, or is there something I just pulled, or I just saw that, and I'm like, I'm going to grab that, I'm going to send that to every realtor I know. If I do that consistently, people are like, I know that Russ guy. He's always sending me good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, cool. So with that said, let me drop into another fun conversation. So how many of you guys have all your ducks in a row and you think you're doing pretty much everything amazing and you could show somebody else how to do pretty much all the things in business? Yeah. Okay. How many of you, if you were able to partner with somebody that had skill sets that were different than yours or other than yours, would probably make your business better? We're talking like the 1 + 1 = 5 type of thing. Because like if you add 2 of the right people, man, it's not 2 people, it's 5, right? You like Don Hobbs' brain and ability and my brain and ability. That's gonna be more than just 2 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys, there's a biblical principle that goes something like, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I'm there also. But it's like where 2 or 3 are gathered, talking about something, focusing on something individual, you come up with something that is a sum of way greater than the parts.
You and Don is
will say something.
explosive, Russ.
What's that?
You and Don would be explosive, and then add Peggy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we just throw some cowboy boots on. We'll get some stuff done, right? Okay, so with that being said, guys, it's like, if you guys were able to partner with me on a brokerage, do you think I could talk to a brokerage and get them to join?
Hell yeah.
That's pretty much all I do. That's a bunch of what I do for EXP, right? So if you have somebody like that in your life, now you can say, all right, I can have somebody like that in my life because that fits a hole that I need. I need somebody that can talk to brokerages or big teams. I need somebody that can talk to them and communicate with them and show them how to get out of life what they want, show them how to get on the path to getting them back to where they want to be. If you could do that, that would be pretty amazing, right? How many of you guys love accountability? Okay, there are some people out there that love accountability. I'm not that guy, man. Like, I'm not the guy that I really don't want to hold people accountable. I don't want to chase them. I don't want to, like, there are people that love doing that and they have systems for that. If you aren't somebody that loves that stuff, you should have a partner that is really great at that stuff. So now if I bring somebody into the company, I'm doing the inspire, teach, train, coach, grow, and then I can have somebody else helping with the follow-up and the accountability part. So now we make a really great combination. I could partner with some people on brokerages. I could partner with other people on accountability. If I got there's people that love working with new agents. Do you guys know anybody that loves working with new agents?
Yep.
I want to partner with somebody that loves working with new agents. So if I bring somebody into the company now, I know that new agent's going to be taken great care of. EXP is doing some really great stuff to get new agents up and running, and they almost always need a tour guide, right? So now here's the fun part. If I bring somebody into the company now, and if I don't have the full skill set to be able to help them out the best I can, now I have this wonderful, amazing tool that was rolled out in Montreal called co-sponsorship. How's that the way to sell co-sponsorship? Ha ha, right?
That was amazing.
Snuck it in, okay? So what co-sponsorship does now is, like, for me, I've got some things I'm really great at, and for me, I've got some other things I'm not that great at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find somebody that has a skill set that matches the things that I'm missing, and now I can partner up with them and say, now, Peggy, we're going to bring you into the company. I'm going to handle the boom, boom, and boom, and Don's going to handle the boom, boom, and boom, right? So now we know Peggy's taken care of. Now, listen, you don't have to co-sponsor everybody coming in. This is a tool, right? Guys, I have like 12 hammers in this house, okay? I've got wood hammers, I've got urethane hammers, I've got metal hammers. I've got big hammers for smacking big things, and I've got small hammers for smacking small things, okay? I don't use a hammer for doing electrical work most of the time, okay? I use screwdrivers for that. So co-sponsorship is a tool that you can use when you need it for certain things, right? So if you get somebody that has specific needs and you don't have the ability to satisfy that or work with that, you find somebody that does have that skill set. You can co-sponsor with Peggy. You can co-sponsor with Don. You can co-sponsor with, well, you could co-sponsor with me. I'm allowed to, okay? Just got notified of that recently, okay? You could co-sponsor with Tom Bacon. So like, hey, they're going to do some commercial stuff. Tom Bacon, not only is he a badass, but he also specializes in commercial. I'm not that great with commercial. I've always had commercial partners I partnered with. So when I get something commercial, I'm like, I need a pro in this. So I got Tom Bacon. So if we're going to sponsor somebody, they're going to do a little bit of commercial. Tom would be a perfect person to co-sponsor with. If they're just a straight up normal real estate agent, just do straight up normal real estate. Just bring them in by yourself. Take care of them, grow them, love them. Okay. So co-sponsorship works really, really great. So here's the fun part. So we've got Steve wants to come into the state or come into the company. He lives by Marvin, right? He lives by old Marv. The problem is he wants to do some social media stuff, and Marvin's not that great at social media stuff, but he knows Olive is. So what Marvin does is Marvin calls Olive and said, hey, I got this guy named Steve I want to bring into the company. He really wants to do some social stuff. I'd love to have you be co-sponsor. You can teach him the social stuff. I'll help him with my local stuff because we go back 20 years, and now we make sure that Steve is taken great care of. So you might be asking the question, well, Russ, so co-sponsorship. So what that means is, so we got to split the rev share, and the answer to that is no, absolutely not. Olive gets the level 1 rev share spot. Steve will be in Marvin's level 2 rev share spot. So what happens is Marvin, as the sponsor, is going to get the stock grant just like normal for a sponsor. It's going to get rev share. Okay, rev share is going to be level 2. Steve's going to be as level 2. It's also going to get the FLQA credit. Olive over here is going to get the revenue share as level 1. She's going to get the fast start bonus because that's level 1. When Steve does, if Steve caps, Olive's going to get 50% of the rev share for year 1. If she's on a $16,000 cap, that's $8,000 goes into rev share. You get 50% of it. So she'll get that $4,000 bonus year 1. Right? And by the way, she's also the one helping them sell houses. So that's probably makes sense, right? And then Olive would get paid on levels 1 through 7. Okay, so now here's the fun part. Steve's out there, does a great job, does some social media posts. And we see Ann is like, oh my gosh, I love that guy, Steve. His social stuff is so cool now. Did you see that thing he posted where it tells how much every state is appreciated the last 5 years? I love that. I screenshot that. I'm showing it to everybody. So Steve has Ann. Ann comes in now. And when Ann does a sale, Steve gets paid, Olive gets paid, Marvin gets paid, and Marvin's organization up gets paid. Olive, it stops at Olive. Okay, so rev share isn't divided. Rev share is the same. This is also great and brilliant because it's able to keep us sustainable. Long term, rev share is sustainable, doesn't hurt anything. So you can do this as many times as you want. when it's needed and when it's necessary. If you need another person to add to the business to help take care of something you can't, or support this person, or somebody comes to you and they're like, well, I've been talking to Don and I've been talking to Peggy and I love them both. I don't know what to do. And we have those fights all the time because amazing people know a lot of people, and then somebody's going to have to lose out and somebody's going to be mad, right? Even though Peggy and Don love each other, still hurts and rubs me wrong when Peggy ends up with somebody that I've known for 25 years, because it's human, right? So in this scenario, good news is you can have sponsor, co-sponsor, and away you go. Now we say, well, Russ, how do I know which one should be sponsor and which one should be co-sponsor? Well, the question of the day is, for me, whichever organization is going to take best care of Steve. So like you got Peggy up here and you got Don up here, and they're going to be contributing to this guy's success. I'd put them in that line as sponsor. Okay. If Olive is actually going to have, Olive has Mike and Olive has Steve and Olive has Josh, and those guys all are going to contribute to this person's success, you should probably have that person be the sponsor line, right? So if the people above this are contributing to this, that's a line you probably want to put it in. Because here's how we'd look at it. If Matthew comes to me and says, like, Russ, I don't know which way to go, I would say, okay, great. Well, if you could only name one line, which one would you name? Well, I'd name this one because they got boom, 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 and boom, and all of them are contributing to the people in the organization. So I'd name that line. Well, then that line should be the sponsor line. And the other person should be the co. Good. And this isn't about ripping people off, or because they're going to be like, well, but their people above them don't get anything. Listen, guys, if you didn't have co-sponsorship, this person would get nothing and their organization gets nothing.
Right.
And some people say, well, Russ, my organization doesn't really bring that much to the table. Okay, cool. So why don't you do this? Find somebody else that has an organization that brings stuff to the table and start to partner with them on people. So you can act as if you're in business together. So Don, I've got this brokerage that I want to play with. They're in Texas. They need some boots on the ground in Texas. I'm up here, can't handle it. So like, why don't we work on it together, brother? You win.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
He's like, I got a brokerage I want to talk to now. Like, I need somebody that can help move this ball, and I want them to have skin in the game. So instead of having to have people that are continually helping you all the time, and they do it out of the goodness of their heart, which I love and appreciate so many amazing people in EXP that have done it out of the goodness of their heart. Now you can have them have skin in the game so you can both win.
This is awesome. This is like,
sponsorship.
I am so excited about this. And Don and anybody else who was at the former company where we did this, I can't tell you as a manager, team leader, the hours we spent knocked down who it should be, this, I'm leaving if you don't do that, blah, blah, blah. Shoot me now. Now we all get to play in the sandbox and have.
Now I get the conversation. It's like, well, Russ, you don't understand. I know Peggy and I know Don and I know Pam also, and I love Pam. She's got the most amazing hair.
She looks gorgeous.
I was a former hairstylist, Pam, so it's not as weird as it sounds me saying that. Okay, I noticed those things because I was a pro for a couple of years doing that. All right, so now we got people saying, well, I want to name 3, and the answer is no.
Yeah.
You can't. Okay, program starts May 1 officially. If you get somebody that really needs to join today, we have a process for that also.
Okay, good.
Like, don't wait until May 1. If you're going to lose them, don't lose somebody over waiting until May 1. There's a process for that. Just reach out and I'll send it to you. Okay. And with that, we can go back to February 24th. Okay. February 24th is when us as leadership talk through this in front of a mastermind of Alpha Beta group, about 150 of the people who are in Dallas actually. And we talked through this for the first time. So we're kind of calling that day 0, like a contract. That's day 0. And then any day after that. So if you got somebody, you're like, oh my gosh, Russ, I just had somebody come in and they were fighting over, like, they were like, I don't know Pam, I don't know. Should I go Peggy? Should I go Pam? Should I go Peggy? Should I go Pam? Should I go Peggy? Like we can go backwards back to February 24th. So if you guys see somebody, now don't go chasing people. Hey, did you join EXP and not have a co-sponsor? If you joined EXP without a co-sponsor after February 24th, please pick me. Don't do that. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's yucky. Don't do it. Okay. So here's the other.
I've been making those calls all day long, Russ. All day long, I've been calling people saying, "Hey, I just heard you join me and a co-sponsor."
Hey, by the way, I was with a meeting yesterday with Leo, and I'm like, Leo, how direct can I be with people with regard to if you fart around, you're gonna find out. Because like Leo's words were, I'm almost excited, giddy to get the first one that we tar and feather.
I love that.
Okay. So he's like, we are going to tar and feather somebody and we're going to put them up high because we need to, right? And we're going to roll them out and be like, nope, this is exactly opposite of what you do. And now you no longer get to do co-sponsor. You are blocked for 6 months, or you're blocked for a year, or you're blocked forever. You're never allowed to do co-sponsor. Okay. So I was like, can I be really, really clear with people if they cross the line? Because there's people worried people are going to cross the line. If you cross the line and we catch you with your hand in the cookie jar acting like a dipstick, guess what? We hit the jar with a sledgehammer with your hand in.
You said you have a lot of hammers. Is that why you're collecting them?
It's entirely possible. I have a hammer for just about everything.
And it's not going to be the velvet hammer that we knew at the other company.
Oh my gosh. Baby.
I had to throw that in. Who talks about hammers? So I know we have a few questions. Sarah just wrote a question about payout. Was that it? Sarah, jump in. I don't want to get Russ wrong.
Yeah, Russ, good to see you this morning. Would you go over the sponsorship payout? I'm a little bit muddy on the details because I've watched a couple of videos and I just want to make sure I'm crystal clear on it.
Okay, so payout details meaning what?
Okay, so if you'll move to your right a little bit, all right, where you have Marvin gets the stock award.
Yep.
Then he gets Rev, and then you've got something there.
FLQA.
FLQA. So he only gets levels 2 through 7.
Right.
Yep. He'd get 2 through exactly. You got it. It's 2 through 7.
Okay.
So yeah. So Steve is on his level 2. So Steve and anybody that goes below Steve down to the level 7 down. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. For Olive, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So she'll get 1 through 7. He gets 2 through 7, technically. Okay.
All right. So levels 2 through 7. Okay. Levels 2 through 7. Are they split 50-50 between the Marvin and Olive?
Nope. Nope. So when Steve does a deal, Olive gets paid like level 1. Marvin gets paid like level 2. Okay. So Olive is going to get paid 17.5% in a normal year. Marvin's going to get paid 20% in a normal year until he caps. Okay. The person above here is 12.5%. Right. And up it goes through the normal chain. So no splitting. Everybody's getting the only reason this works is because Olive basically takes this one position in, even though she's not in that line, we're paying out like that one position.
Okay.
So is the company paying out more money?
No, same exact dollars. That's why it's sustainable. Doesn't cost $1 more. Doesn't cost the company $1 more. Doesn't take $1 more out of REVShare. Same exact amount of dollars. Instead of being in the line, you just take that first one and you put it to whomever.
In.
Yep.
Hey, Russ, can I say something that just occurred to me a few weeks back when we were talking about this early? That is, Sarah, you're able to take somebody, and again, this could be a geographic decision because Russ lives in Michigan and I want to get him, and it could be that the example he gave, which is they've got cool tools and I want to mine. But what it allows me to do is to recruit Jay Kinder to my first level.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, think of it as that simple.
Yep.
I get to bring, Gene Frederick to my first level. Yep. I can't, it's like
Peggy could be here. Don could be here. You could literally have them. It would be as if you jumped in a time capsule and went backwards and like, man, if I was the one that got Don, oh man, can you imagine? Boom. Well, you can put Don here and now everything going on after that, all of them are in there together, right?
So just like a slide bar, you just kind of zip in.
Same amount of dollars. Again, you notice there's no dollars here. So same amount of dollars, same places, same spaces. It's just putting it.
So Olive is going to get paid not only on Steve, but she's also going to be paid on Ann.
Correct. Yeah. So
and
then
whoever Ann does, same as Marvin's going to be paid on Ann.
Yep. So Ann, like Ann does a deal with Jeff, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to be with EXP too. Jeff does a deal. Ann gets paid. Steve gets paid. Olive gets paid. Marvin gets paid, and up Marvin's line.
Couple of hands up. There were some things in the chat.
I'll find it confusing. I don't understand.
I do too. Okay. Desiree, you have your hand up.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I heard a webinar by GoGo And she was very, very, very direct in that if she would need to be the sponsor, and let's say I had someone and they liked GoGo and wanted to have all of the benefits of GoGo, she would have to be the sponsor and I would be the co-sponsor. Otherwise, she would get none of the revenue from it because it would go up from me and not down from her.
Yep.
And she was very clear that with her organization and the money that it costs to run that organization, that would be the only way she would bring someone into her organization. If she hosted, she was the primary, and then I would be like the co-host. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. And so let me say a couple of things, and I'm going to this is recorded, so I'm going to try to be as gentle as possible. And I'm not saying this specifically about GoGo. Okay, there are some people that are approaching this with a scarcity mentality. Like people are just going to get stuff from me and they're going to use me and they're going to use me. And my contention is like, I will give you everything I freaking got every single time I got it, because I'm going to give from a sense of abundance. And I know the more I give, the more I'm going to get. So I'm just going to keep on giving. And there are some people that are not wired like that. You are going to see some people, and I'm not, again, I want to repeat, go if you watch this, because I'm like, well, Russ said that. I'm not saying this about you, I'm saying about other people we've been talking through with. There are some people that were scared to death when they were broke, that they would never make enough money and never have enough money. And when you give them a bunch of money, then they're scared to death they're going to lose it.
Right.
If you get a scared person when they're broke and you add a bunch of money, you got a scared person with a bunch of money. So we've seen a lot of scarcity mentality come out of a lot of people that have done well up to a certain point, and now they're like scared they're going to go back to. So some of that plays into some of these things that people are doing, and some of the things that people are saying. And I'm not saying that's what she's doing here. However, here's the thing: like, if you don't like those terms, don't bring somebody to her. Like, I'm going to say, well, you know what? No. Okay, guys, you can be in business with anybody you want. She's not the only game in town. And if she wants to play like that, perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. Good for you. If that's the way you feel, that's the way you see it, perfectly fine. Good for you, right? There are other people that are doing social stuff that's amazing. And you might find one of them that says, hey, I'm doing some social stuff that's amazing. And by the way, I would love to be co-sponsor, and I would love to help you grow people. And I would love to grow every. Yes,
they
absolutely.
Have more time. Right? And you go back to let them. It's
let them.
Let them.
Let them. Right.
Oh my God, Matthew's got let them.
Let them. Yeah. So it's like, so for me, so you know what, Desiree, she can do that. Listen, it's her business, just like it's your business. She can choose to do that. And if she does that and that works good for her, hell yeah, good for you. You go, girl. I know her well, by the way.
Yeah, so. No, and I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to throw her under the bus.
No.
I just made an assumption because I like even Dawn and Allison have built, and they have worked tirelessly and have built an amazing, epic, yes. So I get the value that, the time and resources that they have built to, bring someone in to get that benefit. Yep. I kind of understand her thinking around that. And I guess I jumped to an assumption that that's kind of how a lot of these would work, in this splitting of the co-host.
You can co-sponsor with us anywhere, Desiree. You can be co-sponsor, sponsor. We don't care. We'd love to be in business.
Same for me.
You're gonna get some that go one way, and you're gonna get some that go the other. So my thing is like, if your organization above you is going to be helping support this person, and the other person's isn't going to be as much, like, then that makes perfect sense, right? And for her, she's got an amazing organization. She's got an amazing system that she does and her people do. That's perfectly great. So we got another one with this guy, Joshua Smith. Have you guys ever seen Joshua Smith? Bald head, tattoos. He's what do they call him? GSD guy. He literally built the brand Get Shit Done. It's like that alpha, go get stuff done, dominate, go kill, crush, destroy, get stuff. Love the guy. He's actually a super great dude, right? He jumped in with the line with Mike Sherrard. He and Mike Sherrard, you put those two guys together doing social stuff and doing YouTube stuff, they're a freaking powerhouse, right? So would they be a good one? Like if you want both of them, drop them in that line. Why not? And even with those guys, they're like, even if we end up with co-sponsor, we're still going to give anyway, because they'll say, okay, the start's here, boom, build a whole nother organization. Why not, guys? Like, so if you're going like, it's only about this dollar and this person, it's about anybody that comes in below these two, boom, that's where the whole new world begins.
Well, thank you for that. So using that example, I co-host or I sponsor into Dawn and Allison's line, and they're the co-host. How does that work with me?
So if this is Don, this is you. Anybody you add could benefit both directions, or this could be you, this could be Don, and that person below could use both you guys. So either way. So again, if people above Don are going to be helping support this person, I'd say that should be the person that's sponsor. If you're here and you're like, but my people, I've got 3 or 4 people above me that pour into the people also. Well, then you could be sponsor too. That's fine. Some people may say, well, listen, I don't need the FLQA, so why don't you come over here and get the FLQA? Exactly. Some people may say, well, I want the FLQA. Well, I need more FLQA, so I'm gonna keep it because I need that for my business. Mm-hmm. Listen, guys, like you got somebody now you wouldn't have had before. It's a win. Like how many dollars do you have more now? More.
The co-sponsored Russ gets all 7 levels.
Yes.
So
absolutely. And the fast start bonus. Like
and
you want to trade me for an FLQA? I'll trade you for an FLQA.
Right.
Samia, you've had your Desiree. That was great questions. Thank you so much.
Very good.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
So real quick, I have 2 people who joined EXP in my area, and their sponsors are outside the area. Is it proper, and they just joined recently, is it proper to approach them and show the value of our group? And
No.
Okay, so that's what you were saying, no?
No, yeah, do not go calling people that are in the market that just joined recently and say, hey, we can be co-sponsor. If they bring it up, fine. If you bring it up,
they won't know anything to bring up.
They won't know they probably won't know to bring it up. So I mean,
So that's the no that you were talking about.
And
like going to get the hammer.
Correct. And I get the hammer. No, I don't even like that velvet hammer you were talking about.
No, right. We did
done that.
It hits hard, but it kind of feels nice.
Yeah, we did. We all know that velvet. A lot of us know that velvet hammer. So we could go on and on and on. We got to. How are you running on time, Russ? Do you have?
I have a 10:15, so I'm East time. So I have a 10:15, so I could do 2, 3, 4 more minutes, and then I got to prep for the next one because I have a brokerage I'm going to talk to. Yay.
And then we're gonna. I just want to say we would love to be one of the first people about your book.
Yeah, so it's like within the next 3 weeks or so, we're doing round 3 of edit, and my wife has the patience of a saint, and it's not a Chat GPT book. It's literally my stuff, and you'll see literally my stick figures in the book, and it's on the cover. So it really is about the path of becoming followable. So leadership is, a lot of people is like, I want to be a leader. Cool, be followable, right?
Well, we love that. So we'd love to have you back on for that. You guys, anybody got some quick questions here?
This is Josh. I do have one quick question. Listen to the whole thing. Many times when you're doing like an open house or something, and an EXP agent comes in and you guys are talking or whatever, and they realize, man, I've joined EXP. I've been a part of EXP for a while, but I really like what y'all are doing. Before it was like you had to leave for 6 months and then come back. Is that kind of if they inquire about what we're doing on our team and they want that, is that something we can do and pursue the co-sponsorship, or is that something that you can't do?
No, people that are already with EXP we can't go back and retro co-sponsorship to everybody in EXP, because there's going to be mass chaos if we do that. Sure. There would be probably out of line would be the norm. Mm-hmm. Behavior out of line would be the norm, because there'd be so much gain. There's some people would not be able to resist doing that, and it would just turn into a yucky mess, and none of us would want to be here in 6 months. So with that said, the answer to that is no. However, as Leo Pareja has said many, many times, it's like, well, so act as if you are in business, right? So act as if you are together. And then when you guys bring that next person you bring in together, then you guys help support them. They help support them. Now you guys are in business together. They get paid, you get paid. So the next person that they bring in, you guys could literally be in business together. Good. So now you're like, do I want to help? Do I want to help that other person with some stuff now? Yeah, sure. Because then if we bring somebody in together, I'm helping them, they're helping me. It's a win-win. So you can literally be in business with them today. The next person in wins.
Cindy's got her hand up, her little hand up. Hi, Cindy's iPad there.
Hey, how are, oops. Can you hear me?
Cindy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I have, for us people that are just a little dense, where can we watch this video again explaining the co-sponsor, the person coming in, all of that? Is there a place that we can watch it a few times so we can really get it?
So, and I'm so glad you're here, Cindy. You can watch it here. Russ has got it on tools, on Toolkit. But if you all go to Wake Up Wednesday in Workplace and join our group, that is exactly where all the notes and everything is posted from here. Plus, we have a 3-year library going back of every speaker that we've had on this. So 2 places, join our group, and then Russ, it's an amazing presentation in the toolkit that just all came out.
Yep. So there's a toolkit for this. It's called exptoolkit.com/co-sponsor. exptoolkit.com/co-sponsor. And that will take you to the toolkit, which has all the details, answers the questions, has a couple of videos. You may recognize one of the goofballs in one of the videos. So it was me breaking that down 3.5 minutes, going through it again. And by the way, guys, if this is still confusing to you, we rolled this out with the top attractors in the company, and most of them sat there with their mouths hanging open, wondering what the heck we just talked about. So there were a bunch of people that were really confused, and a bunch of people asked a bunch of crazy questions, which basically said they had no idea what we were talking about. And we had to go through it a couple of times and go through it backwards. And then like let me explain to you how this doesn't destroy EXP. So if you're having those feelings, guys, the first time, let's go this. Well, the first time Glenn Sanford's like, hey guys, hypothetically, if we use this and then did this, we could have this. What do you think? And Wendy Forsythe said, Russ, could you stand up and grab a whiteboard and draw out what Glenn just said? And I said, I'd love to, but I have no idea what he just said. So I'm like, hold on, let's go backwards. Now I got a bunch of questions, right? And then we came up with this to really make it make sense. So with that being said, yeah, it's a lot. And if you're a little bit confused, that's normal. Don't feel weird about it. I was like, I have no idea what he just said. So you'll have to go through it a couple of times, watch the video 3 or 4 times, and you'll start to get an idea of where everything flows. Okay.
Thank you.
We have 2 people. I know Joseph's had his hand up. Cindy, great question. I've watched the video. I can't tell you how many times. I just, keep watching it. Joseph Satarino. And then we have one more Cindy. So we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, Satriano. Yeah, you got to use your hands.
That's sorry.
That's why Italians use their hands to talk. You know what I mean? That's how it works. Yeah. So Russ, thank you so much. Great presentation. Quick question. My organization, sometimes I'll have people join that I don't even know who they are. I haven't met them, and I have to be deliberate. So this co-sponsorship, if I want, can someone just name me and bring me in their org without us having a conversation?
No, because they have to they have to notify you. So great question. They have to notify you. It's not like somebody could slam you with it. Particularly the people like GoGo doesn't want people just randomly naming her co-sponsor, because the amount she wants to be choosy who she has directly around her, directly influenced with her stuff. So and that's perfectly fine. So Joseph, you can choose if somebody's like, hey, a document has to be signed. So the sponsee chooses, but a document has to be signed. So with that being said, yeah, you'll be notified. And if you're like, hey guys, I'm really not open to co-sponsorship right now, just because I'm 100% focused on my stuff. I got plenty in my bucket. I want to stay focused. Totally fine.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that because obviously we work so hard to maintain our brand and what we do. And I'm starting to realize further down this road, who I choose to sponsor or be in business with is a big deal for me. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So thank you so much, Russ. I really appreciate you guys as a company really looking after all the blind spots that we don't even see. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Absolutely.
We're gonna wrap it up real quick with Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, just a real quick question because I'm new to the whole sponsoring people. I've got one person in my downline. She's been there for 5 years now, I think, because she followed me over here.
Yep.
Can I jump right to level 2 with if I co-sponsor with somebody else? Don't I have to have 5 people in my first line before I can do that?
Nope. So you can sponsor somebody. If you sponsor somebody with them as a co, that person would be on level 2. So you as a brand new agent here with no REVShare organization or very minimal REVShare organization, you're open levels 1, 2, and 3 automatically. Everybody's got level 1, 2, and 3. If you hit cap, you're open 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you hit icon, you got all 7 open.
Okay, so since I'm a capping agent, I'm already can do the 4 through whatever then too?
You could do to level 5 if you're a capping agent, sure. So you're automatically set up. So you could have one person on level 1 and that person could add somebody and somebody and somebody and somebody, and you still get paid on all
of them. Okay, thanks.
Pretty cool stuff.
Russ, this is amazing. I know that there's one caveat is like if someone is already in your downline, you can't rearrange that.
Correct. Yeah. So the simple way to say that is if any scenario makes it so somebody gets paid twice, it's a no-no. So they can't be in your immediate 7. If they're in the immediate 7 line, then they would get double paid on it. So you can't name them and get them double paid. So other than that, it's fair game.
I think this was an amazing, amazing meeting. We had one of the largest turnouts that we've ever had. Thank you so much. And I know that everyone on this call is feeling worthy now. I don't get royalties from this book, but every one of you deserves this gift. And Veronica Figuerella, 2 years ago, I don't know, Hawaii, I think we were in Mexico. She got up on stage, and this was even before we had the co-sponsorship. She said, in order for our company to sustain and be with the growth, we are all one company. We all help each other. And now we get to embrace it. And we're all there for everybody. So Russ, thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, join Wake Up Wednesday in Workplace. You'll get the recordings on this. And if you're interested in knowing about our retreat, 2 spots left, May 5th through 9th. Reach out to me.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Great meeting. Bye, everybody. Pam with the beautiful hair.
He's so funny.
Isn't that great?
Makes sense that he was a hairdresser with that great hair he's got.
Yeah, I know. And he's so absolutely so stylish. This was,
yes.
God, this hour just flew by.
It did. It's so exciting though.
Yeah, it did. And I'm so excited for the replay on this. I'll post it. He'll send me some things. And what I love about this company, everyone's approachable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get no's. I may get, hey, I can't do it on the day you'd like, but I can move it to another day. So I'm going to end this because it's recorded. It was great. And I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye, everybody.